Welcome back to another episode of the Inkwell podcast. I'm your host, Todd Rayner, and I have a great writer and letterer on the show today. Let's get Steve in here and get going. How you doing?
Doing great, Todd. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's always fun to chat with other creative people, other writers, artists. I myself also do a lot of writing, art, and lettering, so lettering is important.
Yeah, I actually I saw Stan Sakai like I think last year at a
Hmm.
con, and he still hand or letters by hand or whatever. And I asked him if he had any tips, and all he told me was that he's one of the last people left who does it by hand. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
all right, well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm left-handed, so that's probably out of the question to do any lettering
Mm.
by hand. It's not my
How,
forte.
I mean, I know people probably don't want to hear us talk about lettering, but I'm just curious. Did you teach yourself how to do it? Because I mean, I certainly did.
Yeah, I think that's a good question, kind of to flip the script a little bit. But yeah, I been doing this for about 10 years, self-publishing. And for me, I started out an illustrator, went to Blambot's website. I did as much as I could reading. I have a PDF on like the kind of loose do's and don'ts for lettering, and I try to stick to that. And for me, it was definitely all self-taught. Now I'm in Clip Studio, which is a lot easier for me. So, you know.
Oh, I'm an Illustrator man, just because that's what I have, or Adobe Illustrator.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it sounds like you may have done more research on it than I have, but I know I skimmed the Scott McCloud section of
Hmm.
how to what is it, the art of making comics or whatever it
Yeah.
is, and but I need to go back and read it in closer, finer detail. But you be the judge, readers. You be the judge.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a nuance part of comics that I think a
Hmm.
lot of fans, if it's done well, it's not noticed too much, right? You just kind of go from panel to panel. But if it's not done well, it's one of those things that really can be an eyesore for a comic.
Oh, sure. I mean, that was just I was like, just don't look cheap. That's like my only rule. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because when you check out a creator's book or whatever, yeah, that lettering can it says it all, right? Like,
Hmm.
it just is like, are you just starting out, or have you been working on it for a little while? It says it all.
Yeah, I personally am a little OCD, so I actually was measuring the letter height within like actual
Ooh.
printed comics. And I was like, all right, what does that translate? I mean, I have a background in like design and print and all that, so I'm very familiar with like a lot of the print standards, but it's like what size point does that translate to however many inches or whatever. So that's kind of where I did a lot of research on that. Can't say I'm still perfect at it. I mean, it's an art form, right?
Right. Sure.
So,
Hmm.
but
We'll
yeah,
both have to corner Stan Sakai and like force him to tell us
yeah,
like the rules and how to
the
do it
rules
properly, I guess. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but Clip Studio, like it's nice because it's a one-time purchase, and I've been kind of migrating all my software to whether it be one-time purchases away from subscription-based stuff. And dude, some of the stuff that they have is just like you do the word balloon, great. Then like you go to make a tail, and the tail automatically connects to your word balloon. You don't have to like do much to
Ooh.
it. And it's basically like kind of a three-click system, I guess, or a two-click and an enter. You click in the word balloon where you want to start the tail. You click where you want the curve to go, and then the final click is like the end of the tail, and it does it all by itself. And then you just click in the word balloon, and it centers all your text, so you can just
Whoa.
yeah, it's pretty
I think
nice.
I'm sold. I'm gonna definitely look into that.
Yeah, I think I put together a little video for one of my friends. He was asking about doing it because same thing. He was an illustrator, and I was like, yeah. The moment I found Clip and I started looking at like how to letter in Clip Studio, I was like, done. I'm not gonna waste my time. So,
Nice.
but yeah, for those that don't know you, maybe new to the podcast here, what I like to do is after we kind of derailed a little bit, but hey, that's okay. That's why it's very
Sorry.
informal here. I love kind of nerding out about certain things. But
Me too.
what I like to do is just kind of, ask you a few questions, get people out there to get to know you, get to know your projects, your characters, things like that. So we'll just dive right in. And really, what inspired you to kind of create your own indie comics to, I mean, be a writer, do lettering, things like that? What's the inspiration there?
Oh, well, I mean, I've always had a lot of creative energy that
Hmm.
I just was always trying to look for an outlet for. And I guess it mostly started with, I mean, my one book that I have so far, Escape to Earth, I mean, started out as a screenplay, and that's
Hmm.
where writing mostly came in for me because wanted to be, in the biz, in the entertainment business
Yeah.
of movies. And like in the '90s when like Pulp Fiction came out, because I mean I've obviously been watching movies probably before I started reading comics, because you
Hmm.
don't have to know how to read in order to watch a
Right.
movie. And I just remember like watching James Bond and asking my mom like who makes the movies. And she says, well, the
Hmm.
director does. And I'm like, well, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then later I learned like the writer has like, I mean, I wouldn't say the real control. I mean, obviously it's like a it's a team effort more or
Hmm.
less, but like they're that's where the ideas come from, is some guy's brain and then putting it onto paper. And then
Hmm.
in the '90s I saw Pulp Fiction, and it sort of blew open this world of indie film, and
Hmm.
just not sort of the typical sort of James Bond filmmaking that I grew up on. And I started reading like the screenplay books that were out, and a lot of the how to make your own like independent film for like used car prices, that stuff.
Hmm.
And yeah, and then I eventually, I mean, long story already too long. Um, like I was out on a foreign contract because I also do acting and voice acting, or
Hmm.
did. Don't really do that too much lately. And uh, I basically started. Came up with this. They say you shouldn't do your first screenplay as like a $10 million science fiction thing,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I had the idea for Escape to Earth, these humans and dinosaurs, and I was just like, well, that would probably make a better comic book, but I didn't know how to write in the comic script format. Like I had
Hmm.
tried a few times, and it just felt so wrong because I
Hmm.
mean, like I said, I've read all these screenwriting books and was used to, writing screenplays, and it just wouldn't take. So I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to take this crazy idea and put it into screenplay format. And then like COVID came around, and my son was already born. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be spending time on a set anytime soon, because usually you're on there for like 12 hours, and I got to
Hmm.
go pick up this kid from school.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I can at least work on a comic book from home. I don't need to go
Hmm.
anywhere. So I started, lurking in these Facebook groups, the comic book writers, meeting artists kind
Hmm.
of group. And like I found a guy whose art style was like perfect. And at first I was like, hey, would you mind working from a screenplay? And of course he was just like, fine, as long as your check clears. I mean, he didn't say that out loud, but
Yeah.
we could only assume. And so we banged out like an 8-page teaser, which I made
Hmm.
like an ash can from.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this turned out pretty great, but I felt like I could have more control if I did it in the actual comic book script format.
Hmm.
Which, I mean, the thing that's most interesting about that is that there just isn't even like a standardized version. Like I started reading the scripts in the back of, I think they used to come in like Dynamite Comics with like
Hmm.
the Shadow and a few of those titles. And then there was like sometimes in the back of who's the guy who created Powers?
Not
That
familiar.
writer.
Uh,
He's really huge, but all right,
yeah.
he hasn't done anything in a while, but yeah, his scripts would always be in the back, so I would read those and try to like learn from that, and eventually
Hmm.
I just sort of, much like with the lettering, kind of came up with my own version.
Yeah.
But it seems either I'm did a decent job, or my artist Antonio is just that good of deciphering whatever it is that I'm vomiting onto the page, because he gets it right, like almost
Yeah.
in the first, or sometimes there's like some second draft here and there, but
Hmm.
man, he just like nails it. And I know he's got like a few years on me and has been obviously in the business much longer than I have. So I mean, and that was like another thing. I was like, wanted to make sure I got someone who had some experience, who wouldn't mind
Yeah.
working with a first time comic
Hmm.
book creator. And yeah, it's just been, and here we are 5 issues later. So I must have been doing something right.
Yeah, that's that's a very common kind of story I hear. Some of the writers I've talked to, a lot of them started doing screenplays, and just the nuances of screenplay writing is way different than comic book writing, and vice versa, novels and all that. For I kind of taught myself to write as well, and I ended up reading a lot of other scripts, and now you have different type of scripts in the comic book industry. Marvel has their own style, DC, and so I just write what felt comfortable to describe panels, to describe what's going on, to give the artist something to work from, and typically I'm like, okay, leave some room because there's going to be some dialogue on on this panel or that
Mm-hmm.
panel, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And it's definitely an art form to draw sequential pages because you really have to figure everything out. I think it's a lot harder than people realize. Making sure there's room.
Oh, 100%. And like I can feel with some books that have come out maybe in the last couple of years where
Hmm.
just like the pacing is a little weird, and it's
Hmm.
like you can just feel like this was taken from a screenplay. Like nobody nobody came in here and formatted this right so it felt
Hmm.
more like a comic book. I mean, and not that it's wrong, it just feels weird or different
Hmm. Hmm.
kind of. So I definitely wanted to make sure I didn't do that with I mean, and honestly, like each issue is treated as its own thing,
Hmm.
and uh like the screenplay is more of just like a almost like a first draft, and I'm just sort of like, at least the plot is there, so if it
Yeah.
if I wait 2 years to come out with another issue, which it hasn't taken that long,
Yeah.
then I can at least go back and be like, oh, so this is where they need to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always good to have that something in kind of written to say, like, however long it takes, maybe you take a pause to come back and say, I know now, I know what I'm doing. uh
The
it-
roadmap,
it-
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Was there ever any formal education, or you just kind of dove right into screenplay writing?
um yeah, I mean, I've been working mostly as an actor and a voice actor for a
Hmm.
while, mostly in like theme park entertainment. Um, yeah, I think I took a few like film classes in
Hmm.
college. That is about the extent of it. I learn best by doing. I don't really
Yeah.
like classrooms. I just sit there and get bored unless the teacher is really entertaining. I mean, I'd say
Yeah.
that's more of a me problem than, than anybody else. Um, so yeah, I mean, I basically have learned by doing. I've worked on my friends' sets and stuff. And I was in a writers group for a while, and I
Okay.
I learned a lot from that. We would get in there, and actors would be in there to read the scripts, and basically, Escape to Earth went through that writers group quite a few times.
Okay.
So it's not like I never got any feedback or anything like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, my wife is pretty much the only person that gives me a lot of feedback. But then,
Mhm.
both of us can be kind of close to the project. So it's always good to have really like a third party, unbiased, someone that just has no idea what they're getting into to really give you good feedback.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, because like I mean, I've been a comic creator now for a couple of years, and I've got a
Hmm.
few. I call them comic bros, like guys that I see at the cons,
Hmm.
and I'm just like, should we be swapping scripts or something? But like, it's. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but it's. I feel like it's different for them because they are writer artists, where
Mm.
I'm or artist writers, however you want to look
Yeah.
at it, where I am just writer only. And I mean, I guess it shouldn't make a difference, but I also, at the same time, I'm like, ugh, I'm gonna let somebody read my weirdly formatted script that only seems to make sense to me and maybe my
Yeah,
artist. Like,
yeah.
but yeah, like I definitely want to work toward that. I guess I just need to find the right person, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, my school of thought is if it works, it works. It doesn't matter how it looks in a way. Like if the artist gets it and the books turn out and it's what your vision is, then to me that's what matters, you know.
For
Um,
sure, yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I'm not someone who has to have like follow like the exact rules or template
Hmm.
or something like that. I mean, this is art we're talking about here. There's got to be
Yeah.
a little bit of chaos, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah. So, but yeah, you're right. Just got to get over it and find someone to swap scripts with or something like that.
Um, what I seeing is you're on issue 5, and we'll jump into that Kickstarter here in a minute. But what keeps you motivated to keep going issue after issue after issue?
Oh man. Well, I don't know about yourself, Todd, but when I was coming up reading comics,
Hmm.
especially in the 90s, I loved well, first off, I spent a lot of time digging around in the dollar and quarter bins
Hmm.
because I mean, I'd read anything, but I didn't have a lot of money to spend
Yep.
on everything. So you hit those bins, and you can come back with a stack full with not very much, for not very much money. And because of that, I was able to discover a lot of weird and interesting characters that at that point in the 90s they had already sort of like moved on, but they were like,
Hmm.
sort of like the previous guard of indie like first comics and things like
Hmm.
that. And then I also spent a lot of time in the artist alley because I love like getting in on the ground floor with
Yeah.
stuff, whether it be comics or bands or filmmakers, stuff like
Hmm.
that. And so I would go and I would buy these first issues, and then there would usually never be another one because I mean
No.
we know how it goes. Maybe it was someone's first time trying out
Hmm.
comics. It was either too hard or they didn't sell enough to
Hmm.
warrant another issue or whatever. But that leaves me, the reader, like with blue, like
Yeah,
wondering
hanging.
what's going to happen next. Like, and I've got, you know, dozens, probably way more than even dozens of those titles, just sitting there, wondering what's going to, and especially if I enjoyed it, that makes it even
Yeah,
harder. Like,
yeah.
so I promised myself that, I mean, cause I already knew how the story unfolded, and I was just
Hmm.
like, well, I'm have to see this through to the end. And
Yeah.
also, I mean, for I guess economical reasons,
Hmm.
everyone says you make your money back with the graphic novel or the trade.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I don't know.
give me the
Subject for
truth. Give me the
debate.
truth here, Todd.
Subject for debate.
All
Depends.
right. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that have been proven false that I heard prior to me
Hmm.
starting my
Hmm.
little career here, but that doesn't stop me so far.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, basically, I wanted the story to be complete. I mean, even the first issue, I you know felt, at least to me, that it was just an introduction. In the back of my mind, I'm like, oh boy, if
Hmm.
you guys like this, wait till we get to the next one, and the next one,
Yeah.
it's going to be huge.
Yeah. That.
And yeah, so yeah, basically, I just promised myself, I'm like, no matter what, just finish.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my boat. Like I had an idea when I was a teenager. I created stuff, and I'm like, well, back in the early 90s, late 80s, like none of this was even possible. There was no crowdfunding. There was no way to self-publish. There was no print on demand. I mean, just zero. So as time went on, life kind of took its hold on me. Like here we are years later, and now we can do this, and we can be, whether we moderately successful, maybe we lose money on it, maybe we make money on it, but we're able to do what we want to do with stuff. So for me,
Hmm.
it's also being a completist. Like I have to finish telling these stories, you know.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
I get you on that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like leaving anything unfinished just gnaws away at my brain. Like,
Yes,
I can't do it.
exactly. Speaking of film and comics in general, like what are some of your biggest influences, whether it be writers or just content creators, things like that?
Well, I guess we'll start with the comic world. I'm a huge fan of Ed Brubaker.
Hmm.
Um, and and man, back when nobody knew or cared who he was, me and my friends were reading like Invincible and Walking Dead. So I'm a huge Kirkman fan.
Hmm.
I mean, even like not everything he makes I love,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean that's that's the guy who we all want to be right now, right? To a certain extent, at least success wise.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as far as writers go, that those are definitely two big ones. I also like going back a little further, like Jim Starlin.
Hmm.
Like one of my first comics ever was like the Silver Surfer tie-in with the Infinity Gauntlet,
Oh
and
yeah.
that was weird for me. Okay, because like my parents were not comic book fans. Like the most they've ever read, like my mom read Archie. So
Okay.
when I started reading, like nobody was there to tell me how comics worked, and
Hmm.
I knew about the Silver Surfer because when I first got exposed to Marvel Comics, it was like in our elementary school library they had these collections of Marvel
Hmm.
comics, and it was like first four issues of like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Captain America, and I think Silver Surfer was the fourth one. So anyway, I think I got paid for like watching my little brother or something. So I went to the grocery store on the spinner rack. That's right,
Yeah.
everyone, spinner rack, the way it used to be.
Exactly.
Uh, and yeah, and I got myself a Silver Surfer, and I'm just like, why are all the heroes dead? Why is Thor dead? Why is Captain America dead? Like, why?
Yeah.
Who's this purple guy holding up the surfer by his neck? Like, I
Yeah.
had no idea what was going on. But eventually, I found my way to a comic book store, and the owner he smartened me up. So,
Yeah.
um,
Nice.
yeah, but aside from that, also back in the '90s, the indie boom exposed me to like to Jeff Smith, like the Bone creator. I
Oh
loved
yeah.
Bone, and of course, the image revolution was the hot thing at the time.
Hmm.
Like I
Hmm.
didn't understand how that worked either. I'm like, what's this young blood, and why are you sold out of it already?
Yeah.
And yeah, but then like I really got into Wildcats. I liked the
Yeah.
cartoon, and I mean aside from comics and like writers, I like. I mean, I used to read like a bit of everything. I read some of Peter David's novels, and I really like him as a comic
Hmm.
book writer too. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Um, and I read Jurassic Park at a pretty young age. I
Mm.
thought I was big and adult for doing that because, of course, the movie was out and
Yeah.
it was hot. I like Max Allen Collins, and for movies, of course, I like Sam Raimi, John Carpenter. Like those are some of
Oh
my
yeah.
favorite directors, and David Mamet, of course, Quentin Tarantino. Um, Stanley Kubrick. I think
Hmm.
that's probably a good mix of all the stuff that's constantly going on in my mind.
Yeah, we when Infinity Gauntlet came out, or at least the films, right? My wife got into comics a little bit, later in well, later. I mean, she was still kind of young, but like
Mm,
I was already into comics for years, and we started
right.
dating, and I'm like, hey, here's this thing, right? So I mean, the first few phases of Marvel films were great, and when
They
we were
were.
watching Infinity Wars and all that, right? I was like, no, honey, you got to read Infinity Gauntlet. Like, I'm telling you, the book is to say the book is better than the movies. Yes, we say that all the time, but this is one of those cases. It's absolutely true. And she's like, yeah, that's the movies kind of suck now in comparison. Like, why did they make all these
Ah,
changes? I was like, I know, like that's source material
so
for you.
so true. Just like with the Civil War movie. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
they only
Why
called it
even?
that to make us comic fans show up and watch it. Like I
Yeah, and we
swear.
did. I was a sucker. I was there.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, my favorite of those movies is The Winter Soldier first, and then The Avengers. How about
Hmm.
yourself?
It's kind of for me, I think if I take like all three phases of the movies, I know that's like a huge. bunch of movies. I really like the first Iron Man. I think that was a really good job of
Oh yeah.
introducing that character. And then
Hmm.
the first Guardians of the Galaxy is great. And then I kind of fall over to like the first Avenger, Captain America, the first Avenger. I think that's probably the top three off the top of my head. Really,
Did
Ragnarok was fun too.
I didn't really care for those, but uh, did you read the Abnett and Lanning Guardians of the Galaxy books?
No, I don't think so.
They are better than the
They're,
movie. Uh,
I bet.
that is mostly the source material for the
Okay.
Guardians movies. Although I feel like there's a little bit of Jim Valentino stuff thrown in there. But yeah,
Hmm.
the Abnett and when they restructured the Marvel cosmic universe, like
Yeah.
man, everything was so good. Then there was comedy, but it's much more subtle because they're
Hmm.
British. That's what they
Yeah.
do.
No, I really like the Jim Valentino run of Guardians is what I kind of grew up on. So like I was a little disappointed, but like I kind of knew like this is where Disney Marvel is going. So I for me it's having that really definitive line of separation of the films exist in one kind of reality and the comic and source material is another. And they bleed a little bit over, but for the most part it's just having that separation.
Oh, but Todd, now there's a multiverse, so anything's possible.
No, 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 no.
Death has no meaning. Come on, get on
Exactly.
board.
Yeah, no. But what would you say are your biggest challenges with being an indie creator? I get a lot of variety of answers on this, and I'm always curious because like the gamut is just all over the place as far as challenges go.
Well, I'd say first off, of course, is time and money. I
Hmm.
don't really have enough of either. I'm married as well, and we have a son. And I pretty much drive him to all the stuff that he needs to do. And of course, when he's home, there is no creative work to be done because we are playing together,
Yeah.
basically. But he's also sort of the inspiration. I mean, I kind of getting ahead of myself, but yeah, when he was born, like I had already, written Escape to Earth, and then when he
Hmm.
was old enough for me to start reading to him, I'm like, I can't really read this to him because it's for adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to write an all ages comic one day. Anyway, and aside from that, I mean, I think like with most indie creators, just having people even be aware that your book exists because
Yeah.
the internet is a huge place and there's a lot of content, and it's hard to stand out. Like even with social media, like
Hmm.
I've like been done okay on like TikTok and a few other places, but that doesn't
Hmm.
necessarily mean that's going to translate to sales,
Exactly.
basically. So yeah, I'd say those are the top three challenges. Like if I have time, I have no problem writing. I never really get stuck with writer's block. I
Hmm.
mean, maybe that's because I already banged out the script, many
Yeah.
years ago. But and now I have all these other ideas that are going to take more time and money, and
Hmm.
and I'm just wondering where that's going to come from.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, financially is probably the biggest financial challenge, is what I hear the most. And comics aren't necessarily cheap to make. I mean, everybody kind of has to get paid. And I'm of the school of thought as well. Like, I will pay, if I like an artist and I think they might work for a cover for interiors. It's like, what's your page rate? There's very little negotiation with me because like that's their bread and butter, right? I just feel like I don't want to cheapen any of their skills. So, you're right. Time and money. And social media is a challenge on its own. Like that's its own beast trying to get more eyes on what we're doing. I think obviously, I think there's enough to go around because especially with indie comics, I've said before on other episodes and just in general, it shows like the indie comic scene has the greatest. For me, I think there's like more variety, more fun, creative stories that you would never get in mainstream comics. And if you only read mainstream comics, you're really missing out on a lot of really fun ideas and great comics. And
Right.
with kind of a little bit on social media here, how do you kind of manage just the promoting of things? I know some people run ads, some people just only focus on one maybe platform, or you mentioned a couple different platforms, and I mean, it's just building traction in a fan base.
Right. Well, I did, I was a podcaster like yourself for a
Hmm.
while. And that was, I was like, let me try to cultivate an audience this way. My first couple of podcasts, I mean, had nothing to do with comics. It was just, and it wasn't like, oh, I need to make this podcast so I can, put eyes on the book when I finally make it. It was just, I wanted to be a paid podcaster
Yeah.
at the time. But I wrote and produced an audio drama, but for me that was more practice to do serialized entertainment like a comic. But I
Hmm.
feel like there was definitely a better chance of that some of those listeners actually became uh, purchasers or readers. That's what I'm
Hmm.
trying to say,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they had actually heard something that I had written. And again, even though not superheroes, like completely different, but you can only hope that they're just
Right.
like, oh well, if this guy wrote this, then maybe this thing that he's writing will be good too. So yeah, I did lots of podcasting at first, and then when TikTok was kind of just blowing up, I got on there. The current podcast that I had at the time, I started putting clips up there. That got a
Hmm.
lot of traction, and I know for a fact that from that particular podcast, which is kind of like your typical sort of retro media podcast where we talked
Hmm.
about, old and obscure stuff. I know those listeners for a fact were converted to readers.
Nice.
So yeah, for a long answer to your question, podcasting and TikTok
Hmm.
and I still post on my YouTube occasionally, but it just kind of haven't really done too much on that recently.
It's just there.
For now, yeah. I mean, I want to get back to it. Like once Escape to Earth is over, I plan to do like full scale social media and or
Hmm.
podcast, just like we're doing now.
Hmm.
Just so I can grab that audience back and hopefully direct them. I actually have a old school website where you can buy all the physical and digital copies and stuff. So
Nice. Yeah.
yeah, hopefully we'll send people to that and get some sales.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Escape to Earth, let's jump in and, you know, give us all of the information here. Get you back in here for a sec. 1 second. The beauty of it being
No.
pre-recorded is I'm just going to cut this out
Yes,
because
yes,
we,
and I appreciate that.
because for, so I switched you over. Can I do that? Oh, wait, can I do, I can do that. Okay. There we go. All right, we're back.
Hey, they were great.
So yeah, let's dive into Escape to Earth and tell us all about it.
All right, Escape to Earth is all about this intergalactic thief named Adam, aka the Zero Thief. He lives on this sort of dystopian kind of Mad Max style prison planet. He's
Hmm.
basically the only human surrounded by just these crazy, like vicious aliens. And he doesn't know why, and you don't know why, but it gets explained later in the fifth issue that's going to come out.
Hmm.
And basically, he is contracted to do this one specific job. It completely botches it, and he ends up crash landing on the prehistoric Earth, where he
Okay.
meets this woman, Ika. She's the only woman surrounded by dinosaurs, basically,
Okay.
and she can control them with her mind. They have to work together to fight against these winged armored guys who follows Adam to Earth.
Hmm.
And then from there, the story ramps up. They're eventually get to there's a team of dino human hybrids. If you were raised on TMNT and Street Sharks like I was,
Yeah. Yep.
and it all just culminates in a massive battle between humans, dinosaurs, and aliens, and the main antagonists,
Hmm.
obviously. And yeah, and that is basically it. It's like it's inspired by almost like Roger Corman films,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, I love Roger
Um,
Corman.
Good, good, yeah, me too. Like I wanted to do like swords and sorcery, but instead of
Hmm.
sorcery, it's science, and it's not
Nice.
really swords. It's mostly just like it's knives and primitive weapons
Hmm.
versus technology, more or less. And yeah, it's like another thing I enjoy in movies is like a lead um, anti-hero who talks
Hmm.
trash and tries to back it up, and that is definitely Adam. If you
Okay.
like Ash from Army of Darkness, or
Hmm.
Jack Burton from not Escape to New York, but Big Trouble in Little China.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, those characters definitely inspired Adam the Zero Thief, as well as comic characters like Gambit and the
Hmm.
U.S. Agent. But before Kurt Russell's kid played him, but he
Yeah.
does okay. He does okay. I don't mind him as the U.S. Agent. But yeah, and that is basically the plot of Escape to Earth.
Nice. There looks to be an NES game, or is that just a cartridge?
It's just a cartridge. I
Okay.
wish there was a video game, but yeah, I've got a. I'm just trying to look for interesting ways to spice up the rewards.
Hmm.
And Yeah, that's. I have a 3D printer. I printed out those cartridges myself, as well as the
Oh, nice.
labels.
Well done.
So thank you. Yeah, it is basically let's just say it's what could
Yeah.
be. So get your copy of the soon to be classic Escape to Earth video game cartridge replica. And I'll just email you the game later when someone makes it.
Yeah. I was gonna say any game developers out there, be sure to hit up Steve so that this can happen, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know nobody likes to talk about AI, or either they're for it or against it, but it sounds like when I'm finally done with Escape to Earth, I could just sit and tell some AI to make the game for me, but it's probably not that easy.
Yeah, it might be by the time it's all said and done. Who knows?
Hmm
I mean, it's pretty
but
easy to generate AI images now, so a game might not be that far off.
for sure, for sure. But yeah, I
Yeah.
also I'm working on trying to do well, I want to call it an action figure, but it's more of just a statue of
Hmm.
Adam, something big that I could put on my table at cons. I will hopefully entice people to come over.
Hmm.
And But it's going to take a little more work, and got to go in and mess around in Blender programs that I'm not really used to.
Yeah, I tried. I played around in Blender a little bit, and then I also played around in Unreal Engine 4 because I know you can
Hmm
still do 3D modeling, and I'm just like, no, I'm gonna stick to 2D. Like that's just not. It's a
I
lot.
hear
It's a
you.
lot to learn, but
Oh, since you have the fifth issue cover on there, I could talk about that
hmm.
for a minute. It's done by Sean Forney. He's basically done
Oh yeah.
the majority of my variant covers. Like,
Hmm.
I don't, I don't know about you, Todd, but I've never been a huge fan of the whole variant cover thing. When
Yeah,
I
it's
understand that
hit or
I
miss.
understand why it's a thing,
Hmm.
especially for us indie guys who, people may not know who we are. You go out
Hmm.
and find an artist that has a big following, and then they
Hmm.
will post the cover on their social media, and then hopefully you get more sales and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
basically when I was working on the first issue, I think I did I put maybe I posted the Kickstarter in one of those aforementioned groups that you and I are
Hmm.
in,
Hmm.
and some guy instant messaged me or DM'd me, and he was like, oh man, I'm really disappointed there's no variant covers.
Huh.
I'm like, okay, well, what do you suggest? Like, who should I use?
Yeah.
And Sean's name was in there, and for
Hmm.
the first variant that he did, which I don't think it's in the story section here. Like, it's one of the most eye catching covers because, of course, there's like I mean, uh, yeah, there it is, bottom left corner.
Hmm.
Everyone says it looks like Michael Turner,
Yep.
and yeah, that one it catches the fellows' eyes at the cons, and
Yep.
they're like,
Yes, it
"Well, I
does.
don't think my I don't think my wife would like me buying this one, so I'll take the other one."
Yeah.
But then, but then there's plenty of other dudes who just don't care and they go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know, variant covers. I'm torn on it. When I do my Kickstarters, I have a few artists that I always tell people I'm a very selfish creator where I write stories that I would read. I write stories that I like. I
Me too.
have
Me too.
developed characters that I like that I would be interested in reading about. When I look for variant, when I see an artist and I'm like, oh, that looks really good. That would fit with one of my characters. I'm like, okay, I'll just hire that artist to do a variant cover because I want to see how they're going to draw my characters. I have this like kind of ulterior motive, and I love their artwork, and I almost kind of selfish, and I want a piece of it in a way, right? So I don't do variant covers to offer variant covers to the consumer or the reader so much as I want to see that artist draw my characters, and if I'm paying for it, I'm just going to throw it on a cover. It's worked out okay.
Yeah. Well, for the last campaign, I don't know. Sometimes I get these I wacky ideas that I want to act on. And I was like, well, since it's issue 4, why don't I have 4 covers? Um, and I mean, it just meant more work for me.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
one of the covers that I was excited for was, I mean, I don't know about you, Todd. I don't know why I keep saying it that way, but have you ever gotten the old, when you're trying to like engage with the, I don't know if you're like at the cons, if you're like an engager or if you just sort of sit and wait people to come to your table.
Depends on how much coffee I have. So
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I was gonna say like sometimes I get the urge to like get up there and get my used car salesman on, and
yeah,
um, and as I'm like trying to pitch people as they walk by and try not to make eye contact with me, sometimes I get the old I only read manga. I only read manga. So I thought for one of these, and it's right there. It's
yeah.
the fourth one. It's supposed to be like anime inspired
Hmm.
version. The thing is that it's actually an homage to the Ninja Scroll cover.
Oh,
You remember that movie?
I love Ninja Scroll. Yeah, that's one of my
Thank,
faves.
thank you. And yeah, and at the time at my job, I was working with like guys who were maybe like 10 or 15 years younger than me, and they're all, oh,
Hmm.
I love manga, I read manga, I love manga, blah
Hmm.
blah blah. And I was like, well, this will be my chance to try to appeal to that younger demographic.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who Ninja Scroll was.
Oh no, no. I'm
Yeah.
waiting. I'm waiting for a proper 4K remaster of Ninja Scroll. So
Ooh, man, I'd be all over that. It'd be
yeah,
amazing. Yeah, I
yeah.
really like one of the pluses to living in Los Angeles, and there's not very many, is that there's a lot of retro movie theaters here.
Oh,
And man,
nice.
I would kill to see Ninja Scroll in like 35 millimeter. That
Yeah,
would be awesome.
definitely. There's a theater, maybe hour and a half south of me. A couple of the other artists that you mentioned, like your convention friends and everybody. There's a couple guys that they're convention friends. They do movie posters for old horror movies, and then every Friday night, it's like Friday Night Frights, and it's like their artwork for like an old horror movie.
Ooh,
The
nice.
Thing or Demons or whatever is the horror movie, right? It's really cool. It's a nice way to support local artists, and then you're doing like old films and you get to see a new movie poster type of deal. So it's really fun.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, it's sad if no one knows Ninja Scroll. I mean, get out there and watch it. It's a fantastic film.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I since I've worked with a lot of younger people. I don't know. I mean, and this is another tangent that we don't need to like go down. I don't blame them because there's so much media now. They like
Yeah.
don't have a reason to go watch old movies. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I personally like much like with comics. I wanted to purchase and buy and read as much as I could. Same with movies. Like, I don't care if it was old, like
Hmm.
new, indie, or incredibly low budget. In fact, I prefer those sometimes. Like, I just wanted to watch as many movies as possible.
Hmm.
But now there's just so much. Like, I mean, you would have to like really want to like go and sit down and watch like original Dracula or Citizen Kane or something like that.
Yeah, that's a tough watch. I had to watch it in when I was in college. I was taking a film class, and I'm like, I mean, I can understand why there's an appreciation for it, but it's not that great of a film.
Oh, I liked it. I loved it. I mean,
It,
it's been a while. I think I mean, depending like me 20
may
years
have to go
ago
back and
watching
rewatch it. Yeah, I may have to go back. I mean, this was like almost 20 years ago when I watched it, right? And you're kind of like,
Mhm.
as we get older, I think we have different appreciations for different things. So there might be a
Yeah,
different appreciation for it.
right. I mean, I was definitely going through a sort of classic Hollywood cinema kind of
Hmm.
phase at the time. Some stuff holds up, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm also a person who I like to find older gems. I like to find older films or just older comics, or
Hmm.
even something from last year. Like I know Sinners was up for Oscars and won a bunch, but I didn't watch it when it came out. I was just kind of like, another movie. And wife and I watched it, and we're like, okay, yeah, we should have saw that in theaters. That was really good.
Oh, so I mean, I still haven't seen it, so it
Yeah.
was worth all the hype and stuff.
And okay, take one man's humble opinion as as a kind of film nerd a little bit. I think aesthetically it's great. It's a period piece, so you're checking two marks for me. I love period movies. I love a film that's shot well, that really does interesting film techniques, whether it's good editing, good sound. It plays on a kind of a known villainous creature, I guess, if you want to call it that. And
I mean, I've already heard all the spoilers, so
oh,
yeah, I know
okay.
what you're
It's just
saying. Yeah,
yeah, try to not spoil too much, but I
sure.
really liked it. I thought it was creative. I mean, as far as I know, it was original story, and for me, it looked that way. It felt that way. It didn't feel like maybe a novel or anything like this. It felt like someone had an idea and wrote it for film.
A lot of people, I mean, that's great. Of course, the sad thing is that is a few and far between in the mainstream
Yeah,
these days.
yeah.
But a lot of people said that it has a very similar plot to From Dusk Till Dawn. Is that true?
I could see the comparisons. Uh, I mean, Selma Hayek is not in it, so it's kind of hard.
It's the only thing you remember from that movie, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, George Clooney was good, but uh, I could see that. I mean, but I feel like because it's written so differently and the characters are so just of that period, of that
Hmm.
kind of, I mean, it takes place in the South. So it really plays on the South kind of voodoo a little bit. There's some of that like magic and stuff going on. And none of that was in Dust Till Dawn. I mean, I can see that, but that wouldn't stop me from wanting to see it. In fact, it'd make me want to see it even more because I'd want to see if how much it compares. I'd say a little bit. I mean,
Okay,
but uh,
interesting.
it the last half hour, 40 minutes is pretty intense and pretty fun.
All right. I mean, I plan to check it out eventually.
Yeah, yeah, but to your point, like you're right. I think there's so much content. There's so, especially, manga and anime, there's so much of it out there. We just don't have time to watch it all. And how do you find those gems that when you got to watch 10 movies to find one you kind of like?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is like nerd movie collector talk or whatever, but
Hmm.
like random guys on TikTok are a big help, at least in me finding hidden gems,
Hmm.
as you say, as well as I I lurk around in a few Facebook groups as well,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
those are really helpful.
Yeah, there's a couple YouTube channels I follow that kind of go into either like maybe retro movies, or sometimes they touch on like newer stuff, but it's kind of more like whether they're so bad it's good movies where they're just terribly shot or just terrible scripts,
Are
but there's
you
a
a
charm.
Red Letter Media fan?
Yeah, I've heard of them. Don't really follow them that much,
Oh
but I
no.
know
Okay.
they touch on that. I think don't they
I mean,
kind of
they
do
were
like,
like one of the first YouTubers ever.
yeah, to do so bad it's good, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a movie channel, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like watching that because it gives me like a reason to go watch older stuff that I may have never seen, and have those new experiences, just like comics, right? To kind of bring it almost back into comics. Like there's so many comics out there. Like, what do we
Hmm.
support? Escape to Earth is definitely a fun concept, a really cool idea. I was gonna say the
Yeah.
artwork looks really cool too. I think it kind of has that indie vibe, and not all comics have that indie vibe. And I
Good.
like that. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I
I'm.
definitely get out there and support it. I think it's a fun book.
Oh, thanks, man. Let's hope that they do.
Yeah, I mean, you're not too bad. I mean, got a little ways to go, but I mean, still
Yeah.
got
No.
plenty of
The
time.
Yeah. I mean, this we're only in like I think it's day two, maybe day three, um, and we're already halfway to a way too modestly low goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, it'll get there one way or the other.
Hmm. Yeah, it's the first few days are stressful, and then it's like the last few days are stressful, and then in the middle, you're just trying to promote the hell out of it. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
the middle part I think is the worst almost because that's when like the least amount of stuff happens or
hmm, hmm,
everyone comes in at the beginning or they come in at the end and like as you get closer to the end, like at least me, like that's when I'm like starting to get all right. Come on, what do I need to do? Like how many more
yeah.
TikToks do I need to make, man? Just tell me. Uh and I mean, and even promoting on there is weird because you know that they're like shadow banning stuff because they don't want people to leave the platform.
Right,
Like if you,
right.
I feel like if you mention Kickstarter, bam, like 2 views. That's all you
Yep.
get. But if you talk about a random scene from the original 1990 Mario Brothers movie, then you get like thousands of views and stuff. It's like, um, and yeah, that's like a thing that I think it's tough for anyone trying to sell or market stuff on the internet is like we've got this thing called social media, but then like nobody wants you to go into their group and like try to sell your stuff. And
Hmm.
I understand that. You have to find the groups that are like specifically for that, but then everyone's doing it. So
Right.
like, how do we win, Todd? How do we win?
Play the lotto. I don't know. Become independently wealthy. The whole social media, it's weird because I kind of feel that same way where you have these a term, social media wasn't a thing 20, 30 years ago. I mean, bring back
Sure,
MySpace and just let
please,
MySpace
please.
live. But you have social media platforms, and you're right. Like you get shadow banned, and it's basically you get punished for being social. And you're like, hey, I have this wonderful thing. And they're like, no, you can't be social about that. But if you want to be social about something else, by all means.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a
that's
challenge.
the
It definitely is.
yeah.
Just being advantageous, just getting out there, unfortunately, spending more time than I probably feel we should need to spend time on marketing and promotions. I will say, I tell this to a lot of creators that I talk to is I found some interesting traction on Reddit. There's a lot of subreddits that I just kind of follow, right? And they're super helpful, way more engagement than on any other social media platform.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably one of the last places where you can get organic growth
Hmm.
where
Hmm.
on Facebook and the others they want you to buy ads.
Yeah.
Like so I don't it's hard to tell. I just posted about the campaign yesterday on Facebook and who knows how far it went. Like one thing
Right.
I don't understand is like I have hundreds of followers like on TikTok and like YouTube and Facebook.
Hmm.
But then I'll reach out to someone who I know is a reader who like didn't who didn't back or something, and just be like,
Hmm.
hey, did you know the new issue is out? And he's just like, really? I had no idea. And it's like, well, I've
Yeah.
been posting, and it's like, and it's not their fault. It's
Yeah.
the algorithm, or the
Yeah.
men
Right.
behind the curtain, the freaking Wizard
Hmm.
of Oz. Like,
Yeah.
who knows who's doing it? But yeah, like, I wish, we could go back. I mean, how long has social media been around now? 20 years, 20 plus. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the beginning, the organic growth was like real because they wanted people to use it so bad. And then now that
Hmm.
they got us where they want us, like they want their
They want the
payday.
dollar. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's unfortunate, but it's bittersweet. It's a
Sure,
love-hate relationship out there in social media. But yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, good luck on the campaign. I think like I said, I think it's a really fun campaign. It looks great. The idea is definitely fresh and different. I haven't talked to many creators that, are working with dinosaurs and technology. So
Yeah, I really wanted. I was a big fan of Cadillacs and dinosaurs, and I just wanted more.
yeah, yeah, that was a
uh,
fun book back in the day.
yeah, the cartoon is pretty good too. I don't know if you ever got a chance
I
to
have
see
not
it.
seen it. I'll have
It's
to check
on
it out.
Tubi, and like, and the character, like, the animation is like good. You're like, wow, they
Okay.
would they would never let Hannah in a cartoon for kids like these days,
Right.
just because she was smoking. I'll just say it there,
Yeah.
smoking hot. Oh, real quick, I mean, one thing with AI is maybe there's like a bot that could help us all with our social media woes
Yeah,
coming up or
right.
something.
That would be
Well,
nice.
I mean, they say you're supposed to be able to program them to do all that stuff. Like, and that's one thing that I would like to do once Escape to Earth is finished, is spend some more time trying to research AI, because there's just so much right now, to see if there's anything that could help with that stuff that you and I don't want to do.
Yeah. I think it's out there. It's just a matter of finding it. AI
Right.
is such a hot topic. It's such a almost
Mm.
bittersweet thing. Like it can do a lot of good, but it also can do a lot of evil. I mean, I saw Terminator. I know where it can go. So
It's just like social media.
yeah, it's crazy. But where can people find you? You mentioned TikTok. You mentioned Facebook. Yeah.
Sure, at Reptilian Media on everything basically.
Hmm.
Instagram is where I spend a lot of time posting there, because that seems to be where a lot of comic book people are.
Hmm.
There's an X account, but man, I don't know if you've tried using that lately. It's like no
That's
engagement,
cool.
like none.
Zero.
Uh, yeah, but yeah, TikTok, YouTube. If you want to check out the old podcasts that I have done, I would especially encourage you to listen to Ray Can't Sleep, which is the audio
Hmm.
drama that I did. I mean, it's 10 episodes, full cast with sound effects and score and everything. So if you're
Nice.
a person who likes fiction podcasts, it's about a musician who realizes he hasn't slept in a month, and he sort of goes through this sort of like the underbelly of like Hollywood, to and unearths
Hmm.
this massive conspiracy, which is why like he can't sleep, more or less. But it's anywhere you get podcasts, it's free, obviously, to
Yeah.
listen to, and it's also on the Reptilian Media YouTube channel as well, if
Okay.
you want to check it out.
Nice. Well, I will say it's been a pleasure and been a lot of fun chatting with you and nerding out about all kinds of fun stuff. And for those that haven't, we'll make sure to promote this and get that Kickstarter out there, get you funded. And with that said, I will see you all on the next episode. Thanks for being on.
Bye. Thanks, Todd.